You already know who it is. It's your boy Arrdee. I'm gonna big up Yltv.
Baby, if you'd like to spend the night, it's alright, but you gotta check out in the morning. I ain't gonna be there snoring. I'm a slow and I'll keep on soaring. I get good girls moving.
You've done 2 stops on the European tour.
Yeah, Cologne, Amsterdam. Yeah, 2 stops.
So how's it been so far?
Do you know what? It's not been as wild as some of the other tours. I've been behaving a little bit more, growing up maybe. But Amsterdam was fun. I've never been before. Most of these places I ain't been to before, so it's been fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you just went to Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah,
it seems like this is like the year where you reap the benefits from last year.
Yeah. I mean, last year was so fast. We had to keep it moving and keep proving, so we didn't get as much time to reap. So yeah, this year I've had a little break. I've been doing my shows, like you say, reaping the benefits for sure. Next year though, we're coming back, trust me.
You started the year with the Peer Pressure mixtape, and then like it seems just like you've been adding on to that.
Yeah.
Like with remixes and new songs, and is that being on purpose or by chance?
No, yeah, it's definitely been on purpose. We've, like you said, we dropped the tape at the beginning of the year. In the UK, tape stayed in the charts for, I think it was 31 weeks. So we definitely let the tape do what it needed to do.
Come on, brag.
Yeah, man. Reaped all the benefits for that. And then we've just been popping up everywhere, but also we've been putting in the groundwork in other countries here now. For example, touring Europe, toured Australia. We done Malia, Zante, Ayia Napa. So we've just been
Lagos.
Yeah. Went to Lagos. That was amazing. That was an experience. So yeah, just been putting in the footwork and touring and doing shows, having a little break from the music and the public eye. But we've been working behind the scenes as well, for sure.
I've seen you in some interviews dropping like you're working on a couple of projects, on collabos that's coming up.
Yeah, man, exactly that.
But what's the reason for you that you drop Peer Pressure as a mixtape and not an album? You feel like you're not ready for that?
Me as a person and as an artist, to me, I was ready. I think it was more like I'd been in the game for such a short period of time. Even to drop a mixtape in your first year of coming onto the scene isn't, from where we're from, that normal. But because I had such a quick come up, I think the scene needed to see a project from me and like what I could do in different lanes and different, like, not just party and singles and different concepts and stuff. But yeah, I feel like if I dropped an album straight away, where do we go from there? There's no transition, there's no level up. So that, in my opinion, the mixtape is very album-esque in terms of how it flows. But my album will be 1,000,000 times stronger.
Yeah, and maybe a few more songs on this tape than you would have had on
more
album.
songs, more different tempos, more experimental skits, more construct and concept in terms of like how each song goes into each other, just like a proper, like an old school album vibe, if that makes sense. That's what I'd go for when I drop an album.
Because you came into the industry so fast and so, like, you blew up so fast, so hard, and dealing with how the internet works, that people were like, okay, so you did a couple of remix, what you gonna do next?
Yeah.
And when you dropped Flowers, people were like starting writing in the industry plan, oh, he's flopping now, there you go. And then you came back with The War, surprised people with that. And it feels like the mixtape was like the perfect timing to show that I can do all of this. So stop the talking and then sit back. Or is that just my interpretation?
No, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, we had over 30 songs for that mixtape, and we could have gone down the lane of dropping like loads of singles on the tape, having all the singles chart, and it would be like, okay, well, he can only do party songs, or he can only do radio music. I wanted to show a different side of my music, my artistry, and me as a person. And yeah, it's a project I'm massively proud of. So that was definitely the lane we was going for. And I always had to keep proving it. I mean, I dropped a freestyle and they were like, oh, you can't write a hook. And then I done Body and they were like, oh yeah, definitely can't write a hook. And I done Oliver Twist. He's like, oh, you can't do it again. And I done Flowers and he's like, oh, you can't do it again. And we done War. So yeah, there's always proving, but it's good. I think it keeps me on my toes.
So what do you feel that you have to prove now?
What I feel I have to prove now? I suppose just maintenance and solidifying myself. I mean, it's one thing to get to the top or get to a certain position. It's another thing to maintain that position and keep growing. So I think at the moment proved that I'm definitely here to stay for the long run and not just one of them here today, gone tomorrow rappers.
You dropped Peer Pressure, then you had a single this summer, you just dropped a remix and all of that. But because if you sit back, you can also like start to feel the pressure again, building up again. How do you avoid that?
It's definitely happened. There's been times where I've felt pressure, but even though I know that I'm not slacking and I'm touring and I'm doing things and there's loads of stuff I'm doing behind the scenes and I'm working, I always think about like the fan, the listeners, and think, oh, like, am I letting them down by not dropping as much music as maybe they'd want to hear? But also you don't want to oversaturate, so it's difficult. I think staying in the studio is important. When I was doing a lot of my like party islands shows, I was out of studio for quite a bit, so I had to knock the rust off with that. But once I get back into the swing of that, we've been doing weeks and weeks of writing camps and working, and I think that's just the best way to keep my head out of all of that. I let the team focus on the business side and focus on the music.
You also seem to have like a really small circle. I've seen the same faces throughout the journey. Is that also like a good way for you to make sure that those thoughts...
Yeah, that's massively important for me as well. I think it keeps me grounded, just for one thing, so I don't fly off and think I'm too big for my boots kind of thing. My cameraman I've known for over, I don't even know how many years. It's been 7 years. My PA is my best friend. Management is my best friend before music. So there's everybody that's in our clique has been there before this all took off, and I haven't made any new friends since, and I'm not really looking to.
I was about to ask you, like, can you connect with new people? Do you trust new people?
I connect with them. I trust them as much as they trust me, if that makes sense. Like, I'll put enough trust in them to maintain a relationship if it's a business thing. In terms of like friendships, it was something I struggled with at first. I'm quite a friendly person. So when I first started, I was meeting loads of people and networking, and I was like, yeah, that's my guy, and that's my guy, and that's my guy. And you slowly start to realize everybody's kind of
your guy.
everybody's kind of your guy when it's beneficial for them.
Yeah.
But I tell a lie, I've made a few friends, like Tion, H, I'd consider them friends, but I've connected with a lot more rappers than that I wouldn't necessarily say are my friends, but I don't have a problem with them and we're cool, if that makes sense.
And also, like, you going out a lot and having a lot of fun, going to the clubs. Like yesterday, I saw you added like 10 new people at the club, like on Instagram.
He done this research, but instead I added 10 people going through my following. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, I had to see if you followed any Scandinavian rappers, and then it popped up a few names there. And I saw you met Adrian at the club.
Yeah, man, we got along very well.
And Morgan.
Yeah.
At the same time, like being young, outspoken, social, it's fast to be like clouded in terms of who's who and what's what.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to get lost in. And I'd be lying if I said at some point I didn't get lost in it a bit. But again, the small team that are around me pulled me out of that and said, yo, like, don't get lost in all this. And obviously it's not necessarily too good to be as accessible, so it's about finding the line of enjoying myself and having fun, but also remembering who I am, what's at risk, what I've got to lose, what they've got to gain, kind of thing.
And that's why I had to get the interview before you start to pull back and be exclusive with them.
Exactly.
But you still live in Brighton, and I guess that's also a part of being grounded and.
Yeah, for sure, 1,000,000%. It's a blessing and a little bit of a curse. I'm slowly starting to realize. I mean, I love my hometown to bits. It's where I'm most comfortable. I don't think I'd feel comfy living in London because in my head it's so busy and there's so many people there. There's so much going on, but also it feels quite lonely at the same time. It doesn't feel that homely. But yeah, and my mum and my family are back home, but also, like you say, all my friends from knee high, all my playground friends are there, and I don't really have to worry about like having security, for example. It's just it's my home, so it's easy to get lost in the whole fun side of things and missing out on the work.
And it's nothing as humbling as coming home to mom.
Exactly, getting cooked food from mum. Her making me wash the dishes and stuff, clean up. Yeah, man, it's definitely humbling and definitely grounding. Everybody knows, I feel like, at this point, my mom's like one of my best friends as well.
Yeah, we can see it on your social, in your music, and all of that. But also, like, and we actually talked about this before in our first interview, which was maybe the most British interview I've ever done, because you were sitting in a pub eating chips, and I was like, this feels like a setup. It feels like somebody.
It wasn't intentional, I promise.
Yeah. Brighton to me is like like my connection to that town is like super hip hop. Like a lot of the graffiti artists that I know and I've followed is from there.
Yeah.
And isn't DJ Snips from there as well?
Possibly.
Like a super old school British hip hop legend. So my connection to that town is like super hip hop.
Very like you say, graffiti, skaters, baggy jeans, baggy tops, like open mics, very like boom bap, old school. That was how I first started rapping. I never jumped on any form of like current drill tempos or anything like that for at least 4 years when I was rapping. So yeah, it's definitely, that's like the groundwork.
You just dropped a freestyle on a Mobb Deep beat. Feels like you have this need to also prove that part of you.
1,000,000%, yeah. I mean, I love to prove that part of me. I have probably the most fun rapping and writing like that because I am a show-off. So on them kind of beats, you can show off, I feel like anyway, a lot more lyrical ability and swag and flows on them slower old school rap tempos that like the GOATs I've touched on before.
But also when I heard your verse on Body, that was my thought, that this is a guy that knows how to rap, that shows off.
Yeah.
And also like when it comes to the drill and all of these newer sounds and genres, like you can hear if somebody have the skills to rap and then just having fun with it and not trying
necessarily
to be
using
something.
All their skills. Yeah, I definitely agree 100%. If you're like tuned in sonically, you can always tell which rappers rap like that and which ones have the ability to do so much but are choosing to, like sometimes I might write a single and the verses might not be that complex, but that's because I want everybody to rap along to the whole song, or I want the hook to be mad catchy. So yeah, you can.
And that was the discussion I had with like my friends when that remix came out, because they were like, but that's, it says some goofy, cheeky things. I don't like that. But listen, like the way he flows on the pockets.
I'm gonna say, if you hear the pockets and the cadence, you can definitely tell that I can rap, to say the least.
And that's also something that I thought about when it came to the mixtape, because like you got the up-tempo party fun tunes that you're known for, and then every now and then it pops up a track and I'm like, okay, he had to say something, or he had to felt that he had to show something or show another side. Or
I mean, especially like for me personally with like my favorite artists, I feel a lot more connected and my love for them grows when they might touch on like a storytelling song or something a bit more deeper and personal, and they open up. I think it's always good for an artist to open up, to connect more with their fan base. The more connected you are, the bigger that fan base grows, and it feels more like a clique.
And that's why the Peer Pressure mixtape wasn't an album to me, because I felt like that I got bits and parts of those stories, but not the whole track,
not the whole thing.
And that's what I'm waiting for in terms of an album, because that's what I want to hear, like the whole story. Because there's some lines here and there where like oh shit, I want to hear more about this part.
This part
and then
of my
I'm
life.
like, okay, it feels like holding back or saving something.
I mean, you're definitely onto something, because the album that I may or may not be dropping or working on, it would have to be like a concept where each song flows into each other. The album itself is a story, and the album takes you through a journey. Whereas, like you say, the mixtape, it was like a list of 30, 40 songs that we picked. You know, when like Lil Wayne used to just drop and he'd just throw songs out. That was the idea for the mixtape, to just give people a taste.
What rappers or what albums are you like striving? Like, who's the inspirations, and what classic albums are you trying to mirror in terms of
for the next one
impact
for Peer Pressure, or for the next one?
Next one.
Well, like in terms of like classic albums I used to listen to, I mean the Slim Shady, the Marshall Mathers LPs, they were kind of cool. They were a bit more mixtapey. I like the Carters, all the Carter albums up to maybe the 5th one. I don't know if there is even more than 5. There might be a 6th one. I haven't heard it if there is. Do you know what I really like? Dave's Psychodrama. That album for me is one of, if not the best album to come out of the UK in terms of construct and how it runs and the concept is he's talking to his therapist, so each song is introduced and outroed by the therapist, and it like kind of gives you a taste of the concept of the song before you get into it. It makes each song flow into each other, and it's not like it's all boring sad therapy. There's party songs on there, but it's all part of it as he's talking to this said therapist. And I think the concept and like I said, the construct of it was sick for me. It's definitely a big one.
And let's bring skits back.
Yeah, but I'm definitely putting skits on. I love it, especially like all them Eminem skits, the Paul Rosenberg ones and things like that. I'm a massive fan of that, and I think it keeps it fun and like moving, especially in this day. People's attention spans are so short. People listen to songs for 20 seconds on TikTok, and that's the only part of it they listen to. So to keep people listening to the whole album, especially because I wouldn't want someone to play my album on shuffle. If I've said it in an order, I want you to listen to that album in that order for a reason. So I think skits and things like that keep it fun and keep it moving.
Yeah, we did a reaction video yesterday with a Swedish rapper, and every song that was longer than two and a half minutes was super long to him.
Swear,
like
that's
we lost him every time when it passed like that. That's insane to me,
because rap music and the albums I used to listen to, songs were 4 or 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes, that would be like, there are skits on certain albums that are like a minute and a half long, you know what I'm saying?
There's a whole TikTok song. Like, you're the definition of a Brit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's bro, I'll be honest with you, before I even blew, when we were thinking, obviously there's strategies and we come up with business plans and marketing, and when I was selling myself to people and trying to get deals and stuff, and they said, well, what's unique about you? I was like, I call it digestibly British. So to certain countries that might think of England as like tea, crumpets, fish and chips, obviously that's not all what England's like. But it is me, innit? I go to the pub, I drink beer, like fish and chips, crumpets, that's what I have for breakfast. So yeah, I'm digestibly British for sure.
Yeah. It's crazy that you say that, because yesterday I had a conversation about you, and I felt like, to me, like when you go to Ibiza or places like that, you always run into British people, and you're like the okay guy in an awful group of Brits.
Yeah. We can be very obnoxious on holiday. But yeah, that, like I say, that was always not like the plan. Like I changed myself, but that was always something we thought of, and I think that kind of helps me connect internationally, because obviously every country has an idea of what a Brit's like or what they think a British rapper would be like, and I feel like I kind of fall into that quite well.
And I feel kind of multi-layered also, because that's what makes you relatable in the UK, but also outside. And that's my thought when I saw the 48 Hours in Lagos video. I was like, that's how it would look if I went there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was fun out there as well, though. Don't get it twisted. That was such a unique experience. I'd love to go back. I mean, we didn't get much sleep because it was so much going on. But I'd like to go back for sure.
You also talk about a lot about how this was meant to happen. You talk about manifestation, and you have this line in Who Would Have Thought that the life I'm living is written. Tell me about
some of the papers are crippled and so on. Yeah, I mean, it's never been I never knew that I was manifesting from the age I was. So from the age of about 10, 11, getting into secondary school, my mum's always kind of ingrained in me. She never told me it was manifestation, but she's always just like, anything you want to do, you can do it. And I know it's such a cliche thing to say, because your parents say like, oh, you can be whatever you want to be.
Cliche.
Yeah, but so it was never a thing of like, oh, I wish I could be a rapper, or like I want to be. And when I used to say it to my friends, so yeah, I'm gonna be like a big rapper one day. They're like, oh, but you can't do that because we're not famous. Like it doesn't happen. But in my head, it was so like normal. Like, but this famous person hasn't always been famous. So if they can do it, why can't I do it? And then it was always like, that's what manifestation is. It's not wishing or wanting. It's knowing and like thinking and speaking things into existence, rather than like attempting and trying to get it. You bring it to you. And I was doing that from such a young age, again thanks to my mum, because that's where I get all my spiritual stuff from.
It seems like a mix of that you knew and went for it, but also like there's like a red thread when it comes to like people not believing, people trying to stop you, or when we talked about like how you dropped your music, like, okay, you proved that you can. How's that now in terms of like Because it feels like all new rappers have that chip on their shoulder.
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
at some point it just, okay, but I'm that guy now, so
I think, if you want me to be completely honest, that feeling comes and goes. Sometimes I have that chip on my shoulder. A lot of the time it's when I'm in the studio and everybody says, oh, I don't read comments. All rappers read your comments. Trust me, if you're hating or you're showing love, we see your comments and DMs, by the way. But yeah, so sometimes I'll be in the studio and that hunger will come back and I'll make the hardest hip-hop tune, rap tune, deeper tune, or like drill song or whatever. And then sometimes I might be reaping so many things at once over quite a short span of time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy, but no one can chat to me. Like, so yeah, it comes and goes, isn't it?
But touring has to be like the reassuring part of, and now like going all over the world, playing shows and people knowing your stuff and recognizing you.
It's definitely, I mean, it's on par with going in the studio, but the feeling, like the euphoria of being on a stage and a crowd, like sometimes the crowd will sing a whole song for me, the whole hook, even like most of the verse, and I ain't even got to touch the mic. You literally, you can't beat that feeling, and it's definitely like verification of like, yeah, I'm definitely doing something right now. Especially like you say, going around Europe. I mean, when I went to Australia and I was literally on the polar opposite side of the planet of the UK, and the love they had for me, like it was emotional. We had to take a breath and stop and take it in quite a few times.
Yeah, because do you do that?
I'm really bad at it. I mean, I'm such a I've got ADHD. I'm always moving.
Me too.
Yeah, I always want to just I'm very jittery and stuff. So I don't take much time to just sit and think about things. I'm always like, okay, what am I going to do next? And what am I moving forward, progressing and doing? So yeah, Australia was one of, if not the first time I forced myself to like literally just try and clear my mind and like maybe look out at a scenic view or whatever and just take in the facts of where I am and what I'm doing compared to what I was doing 2 years ago, and how proud my mum must be and my family, because it is unthinkable for some people. I still have uncles and cousins and aunties that just like don't believe it and won't leave me alone at the family parties and like, can we get a picture? And I'm like, we're literally blood. Like, why do you want a picture?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to do. I'm not that good at it, but I'm trying.
It's funny you talk about ADHD, because I have the same, and I'm always like focused on the next step. So I actually had an episode this summer where I suddenly got like a feeling like, oh shit, life is passing me by outside the office. So I actually went on the roof where there's like beds and flowers and stuff
sick.
on the roof, and I took off my socks and stood in the bed and like the bedding, and I was like, oh, I have to like smell the roses and feel the sun and stuff like that. And then at the same time, it feels like you have to choose like the life outside or your dream. Yeah,
especially because like you say, the ADHD, it's like very focused or unfocused. There's no like kind of middle ground. So yeah, it's difficult. But when I do it, it does feel good. So I am trying to learn.
If you got ADHD as a kid, like the look at me now part of it, and being like, oh, you're the noisy kid or you're the troubled kid. The whole proving yourself like keeps on going into the 100% space.
Yeah, like I said, the point of proving yourself keeps coming back. It's exactly that. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of school teachers, a lot of girls in my school that, because I was rapping in school forever, and they was like, you're just some little shit, sorry for swearing, like you're not gonna go through life acting like this and and I always knew. So yeah, again, proving yourself is always a blessing.
Have you had like a moment where you met somebody from your past and like, now I am what I said?
Should I even tell this story? Yeah, fuck it. This girl in my school, she was quite a lot older than me, so we have like year 7 to year 11, and I was in year 7, she was year 11, and everybody just kind of fancied her, innit? Like she was mad pretty, and obviously she was like way older, so all like the young kids used to look at her, and then I got out of school, and she never would have been batted my eye. We used to get like, she used to take the piss out of us, and obviously we used to smoke, and like we wasn't that dressed well or had a lot of money or nothing like that. We were kind of like, we call it chavvy in the UK, innit? Yeah. But yeah, come out of school, done 6 a.m. in Brighton and a couple of freestyles, done body and that, and I ended up just making her my girlfriend just for like a couple months, just to read that benefit. Like, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I actually had like a presentation on like the biggest business schools in Norway, and I started the whole presentation by saying fuck off to all my teachers and my principal.
Yeah, I'd love to go. Like, I wouldn't do it because there was genuinely some teachers that believed in me in my school, but it would be good to go do like an assembly or something and basically just tell all the kids to fucking, like, obviously get your grades if that's what you want to do, but it's not the be all and end all, and don't listen to what these teachers are trying to ingrain in your head. You know what I'm saying?
And that also seems like it's important to you because you say that in a couple of songs and interviews, like, don't listen, follow your dream, go for it.
Literally, I mean, it's difficult because obviously I ended up breaking into what I wanted to do at a young age. So I had the blessing of not having to pay all these bills and like certain I had responsibilities because it was tough growing up, but it wasn't mad responsibilities. And I'm not saying everybody shouldn't have a plan B, but for me, if you really want something, having a plan B, you kind of already failed. Because you're thinking you could.
Yeah.
And that's not...
If you have a plan B, you end up using it.
Yeah. Like that kind of vibe, exactly.
When it comes to touring, I also saw that you said that your big dream is to tour all over the world. Mm-hmm. Like, tell me about your bucket list. Like, where the parts of the world or countries that you're really aiming for?
Japan, like China, places... I'd like to tour South America, just places that are like really, it's not that usual for artists like myself who make the music I make to tour like that. I'm talking like Michael Jackson vibes, like international world superstar, and having the kind of music where, so I know a lot of places do speak English, but where like it's really broken down or they don't speak any English, but the music itself connects people and it connects everybody in the crowd, and it connects me with them, and I can put on a show across the globe. Plus, just touring the world for say 2 months with him and my other friends, I think it might possibly kill us, but we'd have a lot of fucking fun.
Yeah. Up until now, it feels like the blueprint for UK rappers, like doing Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and it feels like, okay, the next step is like the US.
Yeah.
Let's do the US.
Yeah, I feel like it's just fun. It would be fun to be out the box and just put in the groundwork in places that other people aren't thinking of. And I know, like, I've got friends that are like traveling, and like, so Thailand, for example, allegedly, I don't know, I haven't been recently, but like bars and clubs everywhere there, like, and the locals, they all know who I am, but I wouldn't know that because that's not coming up on my social media. So social media isn't always the be all and end all with things as well. If I went out there and connected with them and that started coming up on my For You page or whatever and stuff, you'd realize, and by the time you've put in the groundwork in all these places, you're an international superstar. So sometimes your world's a bit closed off because you can't see past where you're living in, if that makes sense. The world is bigger than people think.
But how good are you, or how planned are you in terms of linking up with local artists or building like from the ground up in new markets? I
mean, it's something that we've literally been speaking about recently, maybe for the last couple months. It's something I definitely want to do. It's like I haven't been that good at or focused on because I've just been so focused on laying the groundwork at home and solidifying that and making sure my position is, like I say, solid and that I'm here to stay. But no, yeah, it's definitely something I want to do. It's something that I'm going to try and do as much as I can on this European tour. We was asking about artists in Amsterdam. I've linked up with a couple here. I've got studio equipment on my tour bus with me. So, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Any artist that I link up with and connect with, that's what's important. Because sometimes if the vibe isn't there between you and that person, then that's going to be reciprocated in the music. So like me and Adrian, we probably make a banger because we got along like a house on fire yesterday.
We actually talked about it. Like, okay, like Adrian, I know.
Okay.
And what in terms of how I see you, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he kept calling me his long lost little brother. It was fun. It was a good night.
Yeah, because he knows how to party. Don't tour with him for 2-3 months because then you will die.
I don't know. Let me not even say that. Yeah, I don't know who'd be worse. I mean, I'd definitely say I'd know how to party as well. But yeah, I think we'd have a good time for sure.
Yeah, in terms of collaboration, it seems like now, like UK has always been so focused on US market.
Yeah.
And now, after seeing what Central C have done in Europe, it seems like now people are starting working with European artists and building from the ground up.
I mean, yeah, big up him and big up his team, because like you say, he was one of, if not maybe the first, that was like putting in that groundwork and doing all of that and showing the statistics from it. So he didn't even keep it to himself. He was literally showing his, like, you have an app for Spotify for artists. He was showing like over 50% of his streams, which is income because he's independent, and which is his fan base, and which basically grows you as superstar and whatever, is from outside of the UK. And also sometimes, I hate to say it because I do love where I come from and I love the UK, like I say, I'm very British, but we can be quite stubborn, quite close-minded, and quite almost like judgmental. So if you go to shows that are like very, very British towns, rather than everybody just having a good time, they'll judge you and they'll wait for something to go wrong, or they might not cheer and sing along because it's not cool. So yeah, it's definitely good to, like I say, look outside of your box, because the world's a very, very big place.
And the reason why I asked it is because of a lot of the other moves that you've done I haven't known, but like being in this industry for 20 years, I've seen things that you've done. It seems, okay, this seems planned. It seems like the whole linking up with H War. I was like, my God, that's
Do you know what?
Perfect.
It was so perfect, but it kind of did fall into place. Obviously, from the start of when I come, the industry and social media was almost trying to make us beef, and we hadn't met. So it was like, oh, like Arrdee versus H, Arrdee versus H, and it could become a thing so much, and then we kind of bantered about it a little bit, but he showed love from the start, so it was never any animosity. And then we linked up, and it was like, we've been compared for so long, and I've always said we're so different, but we are actually very similar people. He's literally like the Manchester version of me. And then War was the second song we made in that studio session, so I was like, yeah, let's just flip the concept of everybody trying to make us beef. So it's like at the start, you know, we're on opposite sides in the video, but then we end up linking up. So it's almost like our 16s are kind of battling each other as well. It's like we're both rapping in that song. I think both our verses are some of our best verses. So
besides for both being white and kind of look alike, you also represent like other cities in the UK, and it feels like that's also like the couple of last years where it's been a market for rappers coming from other places in the UK and building a career.
Yeah, I mean, especially in terms of my brand, like you're saying, like Geezer, beers, fish and chips, that whole like proper British vibe, that market had been untouched. I think the last person who done that was like Devlin, but that was very grime, and that was like over 10 years ago.
But it's funny because Devlin he used to be super big in Norway, and because people connected. But
that's what I'm saying. So that's like, that's got to be over 50, 60% of the UK population that had been untapped since Devlin, and since the scene had got to a point where we're making real money, where there's real influence, where we're getting played on Radio 1 and not the little underground rap station and stuff. So
and the streets as well.
The streets. The streets was big. The streets was big. Yeah,
that was also like
I like
the UK.
Yeah, that's very, very, very British. That's probably the most British you can get in terms of UK music. I can imagine this going off in a club. And all the gangsters absolutely loving it.
Free brorsan, han sitter i en anstalt. Och det är därför min achi askar. Han byter fotbollsskorna emot handskar. Och fittoklagarna de granskar. Finns det problem då jag mantlar. Baggar risken här vi chansar. Jag sitter inhalerar ganja. And I'm dreaded like a rasta. Så. Jag levde haram, ingen boko, yeah. Attrahera bara sedlar. Utomlands till med konto, yeah. Kan ju dems i Afrika. Senegal till Gambia, yeah. Wesh khoya Tunisia. Mekta upp en här shisha, yeah. Zuttlukten väcker grannarna. Det är de brors för ammo. Enorm musklerna här, man förtränger sina känslor. Med kumbala la la. Regel nummer 5. Visa ingen kärlek, alls för kärlek. Här den får det jag.
Yeah, I like it. The vibe is there. Like I say, I can imagine it going off in the club. Be like our version of like when Digga D comes on in the club and all the bad boys, all the gangsters start getting gassed. I mean, the video was predominantly cringe as fuck. Like, in my opinion anyway. I mean, just directing could have been a little bit better. But the song, I like the song. The song was sick. I like the sound. There was no hook. I feel like, well, I didn't find a hook anyway, so there was not a lot that was like that catchy about it. But he's cold though. Definitely talented. I liked it. I like the beat already.
Coffee shop Amsterdam dam. Han vil med folk fra Rotterdam dam. Har det helt fint, har det tamam. Starter på autobahn, nu
He's angry about something.
Han manager, der kommer lige fra Nordor. Han sigter efter stjerner som Marokko. Han mener, du skal ryste lidt på din bom-bom. Hvis du vil have doktor, så kom. Kom her. Produkt straight out af Balkan. Transport Deutschland, stop ham. Airport, rejsvæk, masalam. Mowgli er umulig, jeg fang bram. Produkt straight out af Balkan. Transport Deutschland, stop ham. Airport, rejsvæk, masalam. Mowgli er umulig, jeg fang bram.
Yo, jeg er sammen med min bratte fra Balkan. Og dem der bagved, de er afrikan. Der mærker på mit tøj som en franskmand. Connect i kvarteret ligesom parabol på altaren. Og mami, din røv er som Jennifer. Hun elsker at feste med musikere.
Hey, this guy's swaggy as fuck.
Vi sprøjter champagne på kællinger. Gadkatte har det med at holde sig vågne. Fortæller sit navn, men jeg tror ikke på det. Ej, så Mowgli, det er problem. Radioaktiv, forstår du, jeg burde.
Produkt straight out af Balkan. Transport Deutschland, stop ham. Airport, rejsvæk, masalam. Mowgli er umulig, jeg fang bram.
This guy is angry as fuck.
Straight out af Balkan. Transport Deutschland, stop ham. Airport, rejsvæk, masalam. Mowgli er umulig, jeg fang bram. Fra Balkan til Afrika.
Fra Boston til Ghana.
Så gør vi folk usikre.
Vi gør dem utryg i hele Dinamarca.
Fra Balkan til Afrika.
Fra Boston til Ghana.
Så gør vi folk usikre.
Vi gør dem utryg i hele Dinamarca.
Produkt straight out af Balkan. Transport Deutschland, stop ham. Airport, rejsvæk, masalam. Mowgli er umulig, jeg fang bram. Produkt straight out af Balkan. Transport Deutschland, stop ham. Airport, rejsvæk, masalam. Mowgli er umulig, jeg fang bram.
I mean, the beat is definitely fun. The beat was cool. The second guy, is it Icekiid? He was hard. He was swaggy as fuck. I like the hook. Plug talk straight out of wherever it was straight out of from. The first guy grew on me in the end. I mean, at first it was a fuck. I was like, whoa, because his tone and cadence wasn't really matching with the beat. But I suppose that's his style. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't particularly like the first guy's verses. He needed to calm down a little bit. I feel like maybe somebody was gassing him up in the studio. The video was fun. I could gauge their vibe from the video. Oh shit! He flew the drone. Sorry, can I read that up? Who flew that drone? Did they really fly a drone under a speeding car, or is that camera tricks? That was fucking sick.
Flowet på beaten konstant har en bad bitch. Hverdagen ringer for kram. Alltid våken som tram. Finns kun en vei, og du vet den er fram i fan.
Beat is cold.
For vi gjør det gang på gang. Uansett om strekningen er lang. Vi kriger oss gjennom selv om det er for trangt. Bad bitch ville rive, jeg var selfish, hadde to ved min side. For jeg skal hitte hardt, og jeg falt i psykosen. Begynte å claime, de var mine. Begge var venninner, så jeg tok en L når jeg har null ved min side. Så jeg hitte flaska igjen tilbake til psykose, for leken er vrien.
Ligger en bad bitch med alltid store ass, alt hun vil er å rive. Shari er freaky, hun ringer hverdags, men om klokken bare kom ned til byen. Hun ble hekta av runde, så ringte venninne bare for å få smake på biten. Så jeg falt i psykose den natten jeg våkna opp til at rev ved min side.
Broski fanget en bad bitch, venninna var fis. Fuck, have to take this one for the team. Så vi mixer Sprite med lean, fuck it, etter flaska bitchen.
Oh, they got balloons out here as well, yeah.
Liksom Beyoncé, våkna opp til Jay-Z. Tiktak til den går, psykosen hitta hardt, sa til broski, jeg flyr. Tar henne til bandone når vi lager noe liv. 100% plastikk, så jeg løfter til bro. Hun må resikuleres med tid. Får noen flashbacks fra de dagene svinna løfta keys, og da de låste noen key. Noen ringer på døren, ikke åpne, ta det rolig, for det lukter sivil.
Og vi jobber hver dag, ny dag, ny tid, ny plan. Tenk på tiden vi falt, og vi falt og falt og sto opp og ga alt.
This was hard.
Ny dag, ny tid, ny plan. Tenk på tiden vi falt, og vi falt og falt og sto opp og ga alt.
Yo, shorty, bend it, go low. Bergenser, she sucking it slow. Hun vet overalt, vi lager et show. Alt for genert, men headen er goat, men bend it slowly. Maska på, but she knows me. 2 shots allerede on me. Og tja flir, jeg må fange meg rolig. biten med så det ikke noe tvil om at denne låta for wavy. Møtte en dum chick forrige uke og allerede hun vil holde mine babies. Hun spør om når vi skal linkes, men etter den infoen jeg fikk I was like maybe, men det skjer aldri. Fant en ny dumling, top class, kaller henne for Stacy.
Nå tilbake til trappen, en linje bapplinge for kattene nå på vent. Jeg tar vare på kunden så lenge det mengden riktig, vi alt det som trengs. Hun sier jeg jobber for mye, for tiden jeg gir henne lite. Jeg lar henne holde på min nier, for den kroppen den tier.
Flowet på biten konstant, har en bad bitch hver dag hun ringer for kram. Alltid våken som tram, finns kun en vei, og du vet den selv om det varmt eller for kaldt, for vi gjør det gang på gang. Uansett om strekningen lang, vi kriger oss gjennom selv om det for trangt. Bad bitch ville rive, jeg var selfish, hadde to ved min side. For jeg skal hitte hardt, og jeg falt I psykosen, begynte å claime, de var mine. Begge var venninner, så jeg tok en L når jeg har null ved min side. Så jeg hittet flaska igjen tilbake til psykosen, for leken vrien.
Yeah, hard. Whole vibe was hard. It's giving me like Pop Smoke, Central C kind of vibes, but over here, there was no hook. The energy was there the whole time, so I didn't feel like it was missing a hook. I'm assuming like he didn't write a hook on purpose. Flow cold, cadence cold, video was fun. Girls, I think that's my favourite one out of the ones I've seen so far, for sure. He was cold, I liked it.
The only one, these hoes ain't loyal. Varför ger de en chans? Då amerikans. Det är jag och Khoja, går inte bryta vårt band. Vad tror du habibti? Om du känner för Benny på riktigt, var försiktig. Det är en livsstil, bli gittig. Om man lever ikväll, han är 50, yeah. Jag vet att många vill skada mig, jag vet att mina obs vill vara mig, hon säger snälla baby svara mig.
Giving me like DBE vibes for sure.
Hon blev förälskad nu, hon hatar mig, yeah. Jag kollar inte tiden på min rolle. Jag brukar reflektera med jolle. Jag hatar prata ut, men jag försöker lära den här lilla bitchen att det är skillnad på en kvinna och en orre. Jag delar samma verklighet med japparna. Vad ska jag bevisa något för stackarna? För om de är från gatan på riktigt, då de vet att jag är mer kapabel än rapparna. Dollarmiljonärer, litar på att jag bär en. Åker ända till Monaco bara för att göra affärer. Vilka killar, jag kan göra en mil till några millar. Folk kan bära en familj, men många kan tumma mägen. Det finns inga läkare, du blir en artist eller workare. Fucking väst, min gun gör mig säkrare. Det är 200 något på min mätare. These hoes ain't loyal, varför ger de en chans? Då amerikans. Det är jag och Khoja, går inte bryta vårt band. Vad tror du habibti? Om du känner för Benny på riktigt, var försiktig. Det är en livsstil, bli gittig. Om man lever ikväll, han är 50, yeah. Jag vet att många vill skada mig, jag vet att mina obs vill vara mig, hon säger snälla baby svara mig, hon blev förälskad nu, hon hatar mig. De vill sen falla, jag gav dem mer än vad jag fick. Hon sa stanna, så när hon är redo hon kan git. Bitch, jag hade gett till la vida, free alla från våran sida. Jag sa till han kom och jobba med mig, men han vill pusha den bita, yeah. Och Lili är ma bella, عنا حرب وما بدنا نحلها ما بلع. Hon kom för att röra sig och så hopp, låt inte något störa dig. De kan ta mitt liv, ge mig en grav, men de kan inte döda mig. The only one, these hoes ain't loyal. Varför ger de en chans? Då amerikans. Det är jag och Khoja, går inte bryta vårt band. Vad tror du habibti? Om du känner för Benny på riktigt, var försiktig. Det är en livsstil, bli gittig. Om man lever ikväll, han är 50, yeah.
I got mixed feelings about it. So it felt a little bit long, and I didn't like the rap verses, but I can't understand what he's saying. So you might have been dropping gems, and the lines were like proper memorable, like, or quotable lines. Sonically, I didn't like them. I think the verses made it boring. The hook is sick. His voice, like how it sounds, is sick. I'm a massive DBE fan, and it gives off DBE vibes, innit? So yeah, I like the song. I feel like it could have been a little bit short. I didn't understand the need for the rapping part because of how the beat is and how it sounds sonically. I don't feel like it needed rap on it. I can't understand it, so I wouldn't know.
Jeg føler mig presset, der slanger ikke græsset, og tingene de var ikke for evigt. Den første der starter, den sidste der slutter. Fortæl mig, bror, klar vi den egentlig. Sød karamel, hun er flot og æstetisk, men ved ikke om vi kan blive enige. Selvom kærligheden er kemisk, så mange leger man og ben i. Jeg vil ikke stakke Mercedes, hvad ved de om Yltv på en CD-rom. Mennesker der skuffer og set det kom. Stadig omkring på det scenehold. Det skal nok komme, vi skal nok ramme. Sten sikkert ligesom Jon Dan. Men hvad mening med en god plan, hvis du ikke forlader sofaen? Kender rutin, hop ind i bilen. Skal der så ski. Netop blev sen, men vi kom ikke alene. Minimum 10. Der er ikke nogen pause, laver min dags. Telefon bip. Hvad vil de sige? De er ikke som vi. Procenter i glasset, der stempler i passet. For der er ikke nogen netter, vi hviler. Panser vil tjekke mine pupiler. Havde piller, men roligt, det er bare panodiler. Mennesker de stresser mig, fik os en bachelor. Stadig bare pengene der kilder. Damer de hænger som iler. Taler, men hvad skulle de sige mig? Fik det transporteret gennem metroen, men forretning har aldrig været offentlig. Bag de vil hælde op, så for alt dobbelt. Fuck what away for the way for ustoppelig. Spiller i kæfter, der spiller regler. Wavy komplot, ligger stille planer. Flere decimaler, mens de intet aner. Prøver, men kan ikke lægge tingene bag mig. Kender rutin, hop ind i bilen. Skal der så ski. Netop blev sen, men vi kom ikke alene. Minimum 10. Der er ikke nogen pause, laver min dags. Telefon bip. Hvad vil de sige? De er ikke som vi. Form på min flus er forskellige. Jakken er New Delhi. Stadig fra blokken som Jenny. Situationer vi endte i. Blander lidt cola og Henny. Gluten kan form til min belly. Stadig omkring, men det hemmelige. Kom som den nye Machiavelli.
Cold. The first like full round artist that I've seen, his presence in the video, the production, the hook, the verses. He gives me one of them vibes. You know, we were saying earlier, like, I can tell he can rap, you know what I'm saying? So he's doing like these fun kind of flows and the hooks catchy and stuff, but I feel like if he wanted to, he could go nuts. My favorite one, as like a song, you know, the hook, everything. He was very, very cold. I liked it a lot.
Knutesen fra oppe som hva skjedde, yo? Du lo da, eller nå lever vi begge, bro. Chillan med loafers og lobsters. Du lo da, eller nå lever vi begge, bro. Nei, for 2022, livet bra på Insta. Høne tatoverer cannabis bland på skinka. Trodde det var firkløver, men endte med kalinka. Sliter med å se i speilet, mailet uten sminka. Knutesen ser kun toast hver gang han blir rista. Aldri begge beina på jorda, for Knut han hinka.
Det var ikke noe vondt i han, men man føler bare...
Foran 11.000 så der front row du vinka. Pay double price. Hvor er du nå? But I don't know. Jeg vokste opp i Oslo by, mamma fylte på bensin i en bil fra 99. I dalen der vi løp fra politi, selv om ingen var noe tyv, løp vi alle for vårt liv. Tobias skulle til 10. bed. Hele verdenskartet var i klasserommet mitt omtrent. Kanel på grøten, oi, du ville si noe, men jeg fant en mann der.
Jeg vil ikke ha marsipangris. Jeg muslimer spiser ikke svin. Gi meg heller noe annet. Jeg vil ikke ha marsipangris.
I was gonna say it's giving me proper Drake vibes, and now it definitely is. Like the beat switch up in the middle.
Jeg vil ikke ha marsipangris. Jeg muslimer spiser ikke svin. Gi meg heller noe annet. Jeg vil ikke ha marsipangris.
Yeah, nice song. I'd like to understand what he was saying, nice tone as well. Yeah, like a Norwegian Drake kind of vibes, which in my eyes is a compliment. My favourite video was Norwegian drill artists, because not even like, it wasn't like a big production, but it's just fun. And I remember shooting videos like that, and just like you could tell it was a real party. Might have even known the girls, or just like got the models out or whatever. It was just vibes. He was dancing, weren't taking himself too seriously, but also the charisma was there. That was the favourite until the one before that one. That one was hard. That was Denmark. That's where I'm going next. Might have to hit him up. The cadence was clean. The pockets, like I said, I could tell he was a rapper, even though he's not doing these mad flows or on a hip hop beat. I could tell he could if he wanted to. Presence, production, everything. I didn't have one bad thing to say about the guy before that one. I mean, first of all, I like to not direct my own videos. I have other people direct them. Like, he directs quite a lot of them, the guy in there. I sit down with the director and we come up with a plan together, and I'm very much involved in everything. So I'm involved in the directing, planning it. When we're shooting, I like to look at every shot before. I come up with ideas and we'll do different things. When we're editing, I have to sit in the edit and go through the edit with whoever it is that's editing the video. It has to be just energetic. It can't be boring. Like I always talk about people's attention spans. They're short. My charisma is energetic anyway, so you have to just be able to give off my personality as much as possible, because I got a big fucking personality in it. So if that can be reciprocated on the screen, got a good video going.
Nogle nætter vi hviler. Panser vil tjekke min pupiller. Havde piller, men roligt, det bare panodiler. Mennesker de stresser mig. Fik os en bachelor. Stadig bare pengene der kilder. Damer de hænger som iler. Taler, men hvad skulle de sige mig? Fik det transporteret gennem metroen, men forretning har aldrig været offentlig bag det.